Hey guys, it's Wale here. Humans are the embodiments of biochemistry. Our mental wellness is always at the mercy of our biochemistry. What is biochemistry? Biochemistry is the biological elements and the chemical elements of our DNA. What goes on, all the chemicals, all the biological signals that we signal each time we think. All of them put together determines the destiny of our mental wellness. I'm Wale Oladipo. It's good to share with you today. Now, where I want to focus is that any time that you think a thought, you make chemicals. Regarding anxiety recovery, anytime you think a thought, especially if it's a worrying thought, you fire chemicals. Every single thought starts through an electrical signal through the neurocircuitries in the brain. And eventually those electrical signals are transmitted into chemical signals through the synaptic space. Synaptic spaces around it, across in between the cells. And those chemical signals eventually dock at the neighboring cell to unzip that particular cell and change the DNA included in that inside that cell. And before you know it, neuropeptides, the chemical signature of emotions, are secreted to carry the same signal of your thinking. So you begin to think, you begin to feel the way you're thinking. So through the biochemistry of your inner world, your thoughts generate a feeling. We call it feelings, emotions. Feelings and emotions are basically the byproducts of biochemistry, the byproducts of biochemical reactions, equaling what we're thinking about. Now, why am I talking to you today about the biochemistry of your emotions and how those could help your recovery? Is that what you're thinking about is deciding what the molecules of emotions are doing. And the molecules of emotions are docking into different parts of your cells and changing the DNA of those cells, and the DNA of those cells are generating different genes. And those genes eventually create what we know as proteins. And proteins are basically the expression of your life. You can now be healthier than the healthiness of your proteins. Everything about your body, your mind, your emotions, your everything around you is made of proteins. And the question is, what are you signaling with regards to the biochemistry of emotions? What are you signaling? If it's a negative mindset that is being perpetuated every day, then we do know that eventually we'll be creating negative chemicals. And those negative chemicals will eventually signal a weakening state of mind and body. Absolutely. They will eventually, see you later, they will eventually signal a weakened state of mind and body. And that is why it's important to become your own little detective officer with regards to what goes on in your mind. What do you think about? What consumes your mind at night when the mind is idle? The future of our mental wellness, I've taught this many times in different places. The future of our mental wellness will be dependent upon the quality of our biochemistry. Each time you make a thought, your body produces chemicals to cook up the stew of that particular thinking so that you could generate the emotion consistent with our thoughts. And it's the emotions, it's the feelings that eventually create our physical symptoms. The body on its own, believe me honestly, the body on its own does not think. The body is an unconscious mind that only listens to your deep feeling. The body is basically the interpretation of our deep feeling. The body mirrors the deep feeling. So I can say that if I know what is going on in your body with regards to the physical symptoms, I could predict to a certain extent what is going on at your deep subconscious level with regards to your feelings and your mind. So how do we change? We change by giving our mind some space to rest. How do you give your mind some space to rest? When your mind and brain has been wired to worry, we engage our mind in some activities that could consume our mind in a way that the mind gets lost in that nice activity, so that the body can perform homeostasis. The longer you can sustain the mind in a happy activity, so that the body can perform homeostasis, can heal itself basically, the better our mental wellness. So I'm Wade Oladipo. I hope you've enjoyed today's biochemistry of emotions. There's so much I could say about this. Hopefully, I've got it started. So thank you very much. Like this and share it if you can. And I will catch you again. I'm actually here in Lee today, training the staff at the Richmond Fellowship. Usually I use my lunch break to talk to you guys. So hopefully